Well, it's a new day. Yes, it is. What up, tag team? It's your boy ScooterRay. It'll bring you another quick tag. NXT's NXT's NXT Tuesday night, the go home show for Deadline this Saturday night. If any of that made sense, let your boy know. But yeah, this night was important because we had two triple threat matches to determine the fifth participants in each of the Iron Survivor match. We had the Von Wagner, Axiom, and Andre Chase to see who's going to be the fifth. Indy Hartwell, Fallon Henley, and Wendy Chu. See who will be for the women. But let's run down the show. The night opens up with Von Wagner with the cornrows, Andre Chase, and Axiom. Um, Pretty decent match. Like I said, it was determined who was the fifth. Um, Andre Chase goes for a top rope crossbody. He hits it on Wagner, but I guess his momentum makes him roll out the ring. Wagner sits up, Axiom hits his golden ratio kick. 1, 2, 3. Axiom joins Waller, Gacy, Waller, Carmelo, and Madonna as the fifth member. Last week I reported on we had Dino Diaries with Apollo Crews and Braun Breaker interrupted. Well, in this episode, Braun goes fishing. Apollo shows up and they both go fishing, and I love how they're catty with their comments and things like that, and ultimately it leads to them basically fishing and whatever. They got their match Saturday for the NXT title. Next up, in the shit. Well, it was supposed to be a match between Javier Bernal and I honestly forgot the guy's name. I'm so sorry. For a second, it wouldn't be one of these without a yawn, right? And the sheer comes out of nowhere and beats the guy up. Big Body Javi comes out and was like, "No, I'm out." Um, and the sheer basically was saying they didn't want to fight the Creed brothers until they was 100%. And before that, they showed that Julius was being checked out, and they showed that his knee was okay. But Ivy was like, "Well, what about his ribs?" And Julius was like, "Ivy, shut up! Why are you saying something?" And they was like, "No, with your ribs, you're not good." Ivy's like, "Look, I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to look out for my brothers. So I'm not gonna let you go out there and fight those guys and you're not 100." But Indashir was like, "Nah, we want y'all at Hana, but we ain't gonna wait forever," which prompts the lead to the Creeds try to come out there and fight them, but the refs and the trainers and all that stop them. We get Zion Quinn versus Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo's first match back in 10 weeks. He gets the W. After that, he basically calls out Wesley. Wesley comes out. Wes was like, "Look, I got to take care of Dijak first before I deal with you." But Tony D was like, "Nah, fam, you're going to deal with me now." And then, of course, Dijak, man of justice. Dijakinator appears on the screen and was like, "Yeah, I dole out my own brand of justice. And if y'all get in my way, y'all will be dealt with." It looks like it's probably going to end up being a triple threat. Not so much for Deadline, but at some point, I think they're going to do Wesley versus D'Angelo versus Dijak for the North American Championship. Hank Walker, no, is it Hank Walker or Henry Walker? I think it was Henry Walker. Goes against Charlie Dempsey. Dempsey wins. As Charlie Dempsey was putting on his clinic, Drew Gulak was watching. So it seems like maybe they might try to resurrect Catch Point, Gulak's old faction, faction. So maybe they might try to do that. So we'll see where that goes. And then we get Scripps, who had a little vignette of him writing some poem and balling them up, and Scripps, aka Reggie. Then we get the Pretty Deadly's Christmas tale. And if you harken back to the beginning, the New Day, Woods and Kofi, come out and was like, hey, yo, y'all been popping about how y'all beat all these tag teams, but you never beat us. So run them titles. They get into a scuffle. New Day gets the best of it, and officially a deadline. New Day versus Pretty Deadly for the NXT championships. Interesting. 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 I butchered that word all up. Sorry. Um, Earlier, Isla Dawn was gonna have a match. Well, they said she was gonna have a match, and Thea Hale was like, "I signed up for it." Fast forward now, Thea Hale of Chase U, Isla Dawn. It's Isla Dawn's debut match in NXT. She gets the dub. After the match, there was smoke, and here comes Alba Fire. You like that? I know. They get into a scuffle. Then they announce that Alba Fire, Isla Dawn are going to fight at Deadline. Also, throughout the night, they were showing vignettes of the other women to show the other vignettes of the other women of the Iron Survivor. Because, who already classified was Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, and, oh my God, Kiana James. And of course, later on, it was the last match, but, we'll get that in a second. Jensen and Briggs versus Inafe and Blade. Jensen and So Soul Ruka was doing a TikTok with oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Oh, I feel bad. I'm sorry. I forgot her name. And then she recorded while they was doing the TikTok, a scuffle, a little excuse me. Sorry, once again, it wouldn't be one of these videos without that. A little disagreement between Blade and Nofe and Briggs and Jensen. Briggs and Jensen. Get the names right. Briggs and Jensen. Which now leads into the tag match. Briggs and Jensen. Or Jensen and Briggs versus Inofe and Blade. I don't know. It seemed weird because the way that scuffle made it seemed like they wanted Blade and Inofe to go heel. Or maybe they were just still upset at the whole fact that, the sweater got ripped, that his dad's sweater got ripped, and maybe he was still dealing with that anger. I don't know. But ultimately, it led originally to Kiana's assistant putting tickets in Jensen's jacket. He was getting distracted, and it seemed like Blade and No Fair was going to win until Wagner with the cornrows comes out and starts tussling with Odyssey. Then it causes a distraction. Briggs and Jensen get the W. And it was tickets. It was VIP tickets to Deadline, and I guess Kiana is still trying to find a way to buy Fallon Henley's bar. Once again, what does this have to do with wrestling? Please, somebody help me understand. Fallon Henley, Indy Hartwell, Wendy Chu. The winner is the fifth woman to enter the Iron Survivor Challenge. Um, Pretty okay match, but the one who I mentioned last week who should have been in it from jump, Indy Hartwell gets the W. Then to where it was a Toxic Lounge, they was watching the match. She comes speaking her piece to Mandy Rose, saying that Sunday's going to be her day. That way she can get that show. She can run that belt off of Mandy. You know what I'm saying? She can run that belt off of Mandy, fam. And then the last bit of the show was the Waller effect, featuring the five males of the Iron Survivor. Once again, Axum, who just qualified, Grayson Waller, of course, who posted the show, JD Madonna, Joe Gacy, Carmelo Hayes. They jaw jacking, talking they shit, eventually leads into a scuffle. And that's how the show goes off the air, with all five of the men scuffling, and of course the referees trying to break it up. It was a pretty decent, pretty okay go home show, since this is the last premium live event of the year. Um, Pretty okay go home show. Let's see how this works out. Let's see how this Iron Survivor works out. Because once again, if I remember the rules correctly, it's a 25-minute match. Two men or women will start. And I think I can't remember if they come in intervals of 5. Yeah, I think they come in intervals of 5 minutes. And pinfall, you can win by pinfall, submissions, or DQ. If you win, if you get a pinfall submission, you get a point. Whoever gets pinned gets to the penalty box. I think it was for 90 seconds. And whoever has the most pinfalls after the 25 minutes is declared winner. And the two winners are the new number one contenders for Mandy and Braun, or Apollo. I think I got those rules correct. But yeah, so Saturday we have NXT Deadline. Yeah, so far with Deadline, like I said, those two Iron Survivors matches, Apollo Crews and Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. Pretty Deadly versus the New Day for the Tag Team Championship. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. And I want to say that was all the matches. Yes, that was all the matches for Deadline. Yeah, because normally their pay-per-views are usually about 5-minute matches. So, yeah, 5-minute matches. 5 matches on the card. Jeez. But yeah, so of course, we'll give a review. Maybe I'll be the one to probably get a review of Deadline. To stick tuned. But this was the go home show. It was alright. Like I said, it wasn't nothing that was like, it didn't give off much more to watch the show. Like, if you've been watching NXT, you're gonna mainly watch the show because you already enthralled with the talent and you want to see how it goes. So yeah. But yeah, I've been ScooterRay. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout outs to the fam, Dizzle, Jaeger, Juggs. And you know what we do on this channel. We got a tag. The fuck it out. Peace.